keep grinding. It's a long process, and you just have to, as I said, really take a look at what you really want to accomplish, and just keep working at it. Reach out to people, get feedback, take advice. Advice is a wonderful thing, and you're able to then reflect back on, again, the process of what you want to accomplish, and it might change from where you originally started.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Chris-Beth Cowie, and I'm the founder of Empowered for X and the host of BizGrams. It is a privilege and pleasure to be here with you this morning. And I'm super excited because we have a very special guest, Earl Anderson, the founder of Ocean Group Investment. His company builds and connects wealth by helping people develop strategic plans in order to help them get out of debt, build wealth, and ultimately reduce risk as they're moving through their life. Earl, good morning to you. How are you doing today?
Hey, thanks for having me on, Chris-Beth. It's been great. I'm doing well.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Earl, we'd like to start and understand why people are doing what they're doing in their business. So what is your why for building Ocean Group?
Oh, that's it. Yeah. So going back, I guess, from this early start, working in the community as a nursing community helper, I saw that there are different sort of aspects in people's life, and their journey throughout the community. So I wanted to see what I can accomplish other than helping them through their healthcare needs, but also in their financial growth aspect of their life, right? And to get them to a sustainable lifestyle that they can continue to live and continue to grow from there. So that was the general start, and why I wanted to sort of form Oceans Group Investment, and why I got into the insurance and the investment part of the business. Yeah.
Hey, that's so powerful. And oftentimes when we start our entrepreneurial journey, it is a moment in time. You may be doing something and you're awakened to a whole nother realm of life. And at that point in time, you shared you were helping people with their physical health and well-being, which was amazing. Yeah. But you saw a greater need. Hey, let's talk about a holistic well-being, and especially as it relates to their finances and their financial legacy they're ultimately leaving for themselves and their families. And so, Earl, can you tell us exactly what you do as a strategic financial advisor working with people in your company?
Well, before I to dive into that, really, what Ocean Group really try to focus on are three main areas, which is collaboration, sustainability, and growth, right? And we really want to achieve a lot of the success for individuals. So as a financial advisor and planner, we really look at how we can bring those key aspects that we're focusing on into the business, right? So as sustainability really grows, as sustainability, we look at sort of building that wealth aspect, right? So, I talk about risk management. Risk management is part of a sustainability plan, right? So we look at their net worth and what it is that individual need to grow that net worth. We look at the risk part of it, as I said. There's lots of individuals that are, when you look at, when we look at the the individual's portfolio, we want to achieve the outcome of a well-balanced portfolio. So can you, I kind of
Yeah,
got
no, that's, I mean, you got it all. You got it all. So tell me a little bit more. What does a well-balanced portfolio look like? What are the core components that makes someone's portfolio, strong, sustainable, as you talked about it earlier?
Well, what I really wanted to actually get from that conversation was sort of the key areas that we're actually focusing on, and bring it back to that, right? So in the business of the insurance, what we really want to focus on is individuals in the real estate market, right? And sort of addressing some of those aspect of the collaboration and the sustainability and growth areas that we want to focus in on, and to build out, sort of go into that portfolio balance. Individuals that let's say are homeowners that are looking to sell their properties. Now they have excess capitals that's coming in, right? From that home sale. So we wanted to, from that aspect, we wanted to look at investment opportunities for those individuals. And some of those investment opportunities could be such as looking into universal, creating a universal plan life, and then, or looking into the money market for seg funds and GIC ETFs and or TFSA. So when you talk about a balanced portfolio in that sense, you want to look at things that are going to grow your net wealth, protect the individuals themselves from market downfalls. So seg funds is one of those great instruments that sort of protects that individuals, but build wealth at the same time. And you want to also have liquidity within your portfolio. So things like your TFSA, right, are great liquidity that you can put money aside. It's tax free, and you can have that sort of as your emergency fund that you can just quickly get to right away without any delay and stuff like that. And so those are sort of the balance aspect of building that kind of portfolio, where you have good growth, good protection, and good liquidity within the asset management. Yeah.
Hey, that's powerful. Thank you so much for sharing that information. Honestly, I think as you talked about what it takes to be developing a holistic portfolio, one that helps you grow, able to help leverage and ultimately build wealth for you and your family. That is really helpful. You mentioned, really looking to connect with real estate agents in a collaborative way. Tell us, what type of real estate agents are you looking for as you're looking to network and build community?
Well, we're looking to partner with or create affiliations with real estate agents, just because, as I said, it's part of bringing it back to that holistic approach is, and the collaboration aspect. We're all really invested in each other, right? So as a insurance company, working with individuals for, say, their mortgage insurance, right? That collaborative aspect really works well with the realtors, right? Because they're dealing with their clientele's, first of all, to provide them that protection, and protection is, again, risk management in a sense, right? So as humans being, we need shelter to live, a place to live, and that and while we work with the real estate agents, So it's sort of, you kind of see that life cycle right there. So, the individuals, they need a place to, a home to live. The real estate agents facilitate finding that ideal house for that individual. And we're there to sort of help mitigate that debt or that huge liability of that mortgage to protect them in the case of injury, illness, or their loss of life. So that's sort of that holistic collaboration that we're looking to build, and why we sort of want to create those connections. As for the type of real estate agent, it really, I wouldn't say that there is a preference to who we're looking to work with. It's just creating that common ground of helping their clientele provide the support that they need, and the sort of understanding of what they're looking for when it comes to their purchase, right?
Hey, I love it. And what I got from that was you help real estate agents shine and support their customers ultimately, not only to get a home, but to also secure and reduce risk as they're moving into that space as well. So that's really powerful. So for any of the viewers out there, you are looking to connect with Earl. If you know any real estate agents, you can definitely refer them to Earl. And later on in the show, you'll have an opportunity to find out his contact information and connect with him that way. So Earl, you keep mentioning this terminology of risk management. What it is and why should we care about it?
Well, it is very important because it is something that we do unconsciously every minute of every second of every day, right? And it really stems from, it can stem from anything to like, put it on clothes, that is part of managing risk, you're protecting yourself from the element, right? So it is a very important and integrated part of human life. And where we take that is in the leveraging of risk, right? So insurance is really all about leveraging, offsetting the possibility of something happen in the future. So if you know that something might happen in the future and you're able to plan and prepare for that eventuality, you're reducing that the impact of that risk greatly. So that's where sort of using insurance as a leverage to reduce those eventualities of, as I said, possibility of death or injuries or illness in the future, and mitigating that risk, really not eliminating, you're just reducing because we know it might happen, so we take the proactive approach to taking care, managing that risk, right?
Hey, that's really powerful. I once heard the terminology, there are two things that can be guaranteed in life, paying taxes and debt, right? So in your case, you're talking about, that end of life preparation and protection, being proactive about it, most definitely. That is really important.
Yeah. And to touch base with what you talked about earlier, how does that really play a role in business? So as a entrepreneur or as a business person, they have to look at their business also and assess those possibilities of what can happen within this business that I'm creating, right? What are some of the challenges that I might come across? Pandemic, boom, oh my gosh, we got to pivot. So those are some of the things that as a business that you really need to sort of pay attention to and put a great importance on in sort of understanding what are some key eventualities that can affect my business, and how will that affect my revenue stream in the future. and being able to plan for those eventualities, right?
That is very powerful. Honestly, I could tell you here at EmpowerFX, before the pandemic, we were planning for an event in May 2020. We were going to do an e-fest, having entrepreneurs with food trucks and different vendors here. And guess what? Pandemic happened. When we were going through the project management process, we considered some of the risks. What if, it's snowy or icy or windy? Would we be able to do this? And can we move indoors? So we factored in some risks, but we never calculated or planned for a pandemic, right? And so it was surreal. And so as business owners, it is so important as you're working through your business plan. One of the services that we have here at EmpowerFX is helping people look at their business planning end to end. And that risk management piece you talked about, we definitely support and help you think through what are the potential things that can occur, which can hinder the development and growth of your business, and really looking at navigating or mitigating ultimately some of those risks as moving forward.
Yeah, and we can't, as you said, you planned for it, and you were ready for some eventualities, right? But you can't plan for everything. Unless you have that, magic crystal ball, like, yeah. So you can only really plan to sort of reduce and be prepared. But as you know, there's things that come at you from left, right. But at least you have something in the mindset, right? That you're ready for.
Yes. And so, Earl, along our entrepreneurial journey, there's highs and lows. What is a challenge that you experienced on your journey, and how did you overcome it? Or what did you learn, and what did you learn from it?
So, like, starting out, as an entrepreneur, you probably feel that you're very, well, it can be a lonely road, right? But what I learned from that is, to reach out to people, to create those collaboration, ask for help, right? And that's part of being like that's sort of where I got that also vision of everyone is really invested in each other's development, right? And as a society, we all working towards that overall goal of a sustainable life, somewhere where we're happy, we have all the right tools in place to create a balanced lifestyle. So part of the challenge as an entrepreneur is, like, sometimes you might feel that it's just so overwhelming working towards your goal and your vision. But you just have to understand that there are people out there, and you can reach out to people like yourself, Chris-Beth, and the EmpowerX is it called foundation or
community, EmpowerFX community, our family. Yeah. Hey, our foundation is coming pretty soon.
And I found that once you understand that you aren't working alone, it becomes really empowering, and you're able to move forward so much more.
Hey, I want to just say I appreciate you. I'm sending you lots of love, from the E4X team to your team over at Oceans. We see and value the work that you do, and you hold a very special place in our hearts. One, because you're part of our accelerator, business accelerator, the first cohort officially. Can you just talk to us a little bit about what that experience and learning has been for you to date?
It's been great. Overall, it's been great. Love everyone that's been in the program, and all the mentors that are providing the assistance in growing the business and developing the business. One of the key things that I would have to say, the main takeaway at the very beginning was looking at the business at a very macro, in-depth way of, as you said, what is your business really about, and who are you really targeting, and then from there, how do you actually get to those individuals, right? And as going back to the starting out as an entrepreneur, sometimes you have this grand idea of like, oh, I'm going to save the world, but then you gotta shrink it down to, yes, how do I start? Where do I start from? And then build out from there. So that was a very powerful point that was that you guys sort of brought to light and drove home on that aspect. So thank you for that.
Thank you. The one thing that I would love to say at Empowered Flex, really going back to that beginning place, right? So what is the problem you're solving? Who has that problem? Getting really clear, because that's the foundation for everything that you do moving forward. Remember, you want to add value to the people that you're connecting with. So you need to understand them, right? And that's where we encourage you, I have I want to be that everywhere in the world. I have that world global domination vision as well. However, I tell people before Amazon became the everything store, they were that bookstore. So what is your bookstore you're starting with? A military terminology that you may be familiar with is taking the beachhead. If when the enemy is coming in to capture the other person, they go and take the beachhead versus trying to take the entire island as full, right? Just because you have to have that starting place, and then you develop the strategy of how you're going to keep growing and adding more value to the marketplace in that way. Earl, you talked about, sustainability, your passion for the work that you're doing. And I know that you run a social enterprise focusing on the triple bottom line. And for those who may not know what the triple bottom line is, we're talking about the people, the planet, and the profits, right? And I know your vision may not encompass all three, but talk to us a little bit about why Oceans Group is different from other organizations.
So, as I said, talking about sort of the sustainability aspect and the social enterprise, what we're really looking to do is really to, as I said, have that a whole holistic encompassment of the collaboration aspect, right? So after providing the care and the support for the realtors and their clients, we wanted to, going back to my roots of working in the community and working with community homes, and seeing that the need for job creation in that sector, and also creating literacy and understanding of finance for individuals in the marginalized community. So what we wanted to do from there is create sort of those job opportunities and go back to the community and hire from that marginalized sector, and create that education, build up their net worth, education, and then from there really work back with the realtors and the mortgage agents, and finding that individual a house for them to actually progress out of the community housing structure into their own home ownership, right? So that's part of the social aspect that we've aimed and are gearing ourselves to accomplish.
That is so powerful, definitely making a difference in the lives of those that may not have an opportunity present for them in the way of coming out of those types of situations, but really elevating and empowering them to move into home ownership. And we know the value of that. So honestly, great work, and continue to do the amazing work that you're doing in the community. in terms of tips or advice for entrepreneurs on their journey, what is one thing that you would advise an entrepreneur to consider or to do as they're moving along their way?
Well, I would say keep grinding. It's a long process, and you just have to, as I said, really take a look at what you really want to accomplish, and just keep working at it. Reach out to people, get feedback, take advice. Advice is a wonderful thing, and you're able to then reflect back on, again, the process of what you want to accomplish, and it might change from where you originally start, but that change is also good, right? Change is great. And then just keep going from there, and keep working at it, regardless of how challenging you really find it, because the reward at the end, you're going to love it.
Hey, I may not agree with you that change is always great, but one thing that I know, change is inevitable. And so we need to develop the coping strategies and mechanisms to make that change more acceptable, more pleasant, and make it great, right? I think that mindset of positivity around change definitely will set you apart. So thank you so much for sharing that, Earl. My final question to you today, as it relates to information that we want to give to entrepreneurs, is we know that this journey is difficult. There's change, there's current state in the economy, Corona is here, and we're living through this thing. But how do you express self-love in a fun-epical way? So my word is fun-epical, okay? So fun and epic, fun and epic combined. So great and small adventures that you do to express self-love. So what is something that you do to express self-love in a fun, epical way?
Well, for me, it's actually, really thinking about it, is those road trips. I love to go on road trips, and just getting out, especially, COVID, you're stuck, you have to be in a bubble. So a road trip, is great. You just get out and go out for drive and see the country, and whether it's fall, spring, autumn, it's a common experience, and you get to both reflect on what, again, back to the business, reflect on either what you're doing in the business, and then just have that sort of relaxing moment where there's just you and the road, and and yeah, so that's to me is, so I guess that's my fun
Fun-epical thing that you do. I love it. I myself, my family, we love road trips as well. We have driven to Florida many years. Every other year we would do a family road trip to Florida. We've driven to Texas, driven out to PEI. Yes, I love road trips. I love road trips. And so, Earl, it has been a privilege and pleasure having you on the show with us today. Can you tell people how they can get in contact with you as they're thinking about, setting up protection for themselves and their family, reducing risks, maybe it's dealing with debt, building wealth, and ultimately building financial legacy for their families? How can we get in contact with you, Earl?
So they can visit us at youroceans.com, and a lot of our links and forms are on there. We also have a Facebook page that they can reach us at, again, Your Oceans Investment. That's the link for that. And you can contact me directly at my contact at 416-666-3275, or just a simple email to info@youroceans.com.
Awesome. Lots of ways. We'll make sure that those informations is in the chat, comment section below. Earl, thank you so much. And to the viewers, thank you so much for stopping by with us here today. I have learned a lot, and I hope you got some inspiration, things to think about, messages to share, referrals to make. And ultimately, we look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Take care. Bye.
Thanks. Take care.